Welcome back, guys. I'm gonna go over mixing a 3-gallon kit of epoxy the proper way. We call it 3P2. This ensures you're not gonna have any soft spots. The resin is gonna be thoroughly mixed. So I got 2 5-gallon buckets. I'm gonna pour all the resin in one, and then we're gonna mix that for a little bit, and I'll go over that process, and then we're gonna pour into a secondary mixing container, mix it a little bit more, and then we're ready to go. Now we're doing a base coat and highlight on this floor. So we have our base coat color, which is black, highlights silver. And so I'm gonna mix up the resin clear, pour out 24 ounces for my highlights, and then I'm gonna pigment the resin. That way I don't have to measure out 24 ounces, measure, and then pour the rest into here, right? It's a little bit faster. We just wanna make sure everything's ready to go. That way it's not sitting in a bucket too long. So good rule of thumb, 3-gallon kit, if you want small veins, highlights, right? Less accent veins, 12 ounces of highlights per 3-gallon kit. If you want a little bit more accent highlights, you would do 24 ounces of highlights per 3-gallon kit. So again, we're gonna do 24 ounces here, and we're gonna get our A and B dumped out. Resin's a little cold today, so it will take a minute to dump out. So we'll get this started here. We always dump it out for a minute and then tilt the jug back, let the resin flow out of the handle. And then we'll just slide 5-gallon paint stick through that handle, let it drain. Make sure we're grabbing part A's and not a part B. We don't want to start our working time clock prematurely. And then we'll let these drain until they're a slow drip. All right, we'll let those drain out for a minute. Now, when you guys order a floor kit, you'll get a full tutorial on mixing, how to separate out your batches, everything you need to know. This is just how to get this look, this technique on your floor as far as design goes. All right, so now we're gonna add the part B. All right, now I'm gonna go over mixing. So 3P2, we go start at the top of the resin, full throttle, all the way to the bottom. Once we hit the bottom, we go around a couple times, come back up slow. Once we get to the top, we go around a couple times. That counts for 1. So we're gonna do that 3 times, up and down. P stands for pour, secondary mixing container. We're gonna pour it out, scrape all the sides, the bottom, get all the resin out we can, and then we're gonna go up and down 2 more times, and this is gonna ensure we have a perfectly mixed batch of resin, and we never have to worry about any issues of it setting up or having soft spots on our floor. Okay, so that was 1. We're gonna do that 2 more times. So what happens is, the reason we do this is because you pour your part A in, all the A's on the sides right first, and unless you thoroughly scrape your sides, scrape the bottom, you're gonna have unmixed part A in your bucket. And when you go to pour it out, sometimes that unmixed part A will leak out onto the floor, creating soft spots, and can really ruin a project. And this also takes out the guessing of if you mixed it right, if you mixed it long enough. Every time it's perfect. So now we just scrape as much out as we can. Scrape the bottom. I like to get the majority out. Notice how I'm tilting my stir stick up. If I pull it out away, it's gonna drip out here, it's gonna drip on the side, so I always tilt it up so it's always dripping in the bucket. And then I'll get the majority out, and then I'll scrape it, clean off the stick. Look at that, no mess. No resin on my glove, so that's the best way to do this. And then we're gonna go up and down 2 more times, and then we're ready to separate out our highlights and add the color. Spin my drill off, just so it's not leaking a bunch. So now we're gonna pour out 24 ounces, and then we're gonna add our highlight color, and then we're gonna add our base color to the remaining epoxy in the bucket. This is a small, this will pigment 3 quarts, so we don't need to add it all, but I'll show you how to make sure you get enough metallics. And then we're gonna add the large into the remaining 5-gallon bucket. So I'm gonna put this on low. Obviously, this ain't gonna go all the way to the bottom, I don't think, but I'll be able to at least mix it up a little bit. So it does go to the bottom here. So when you're doing 2 colors with the drill, always do the lightest color first. We're gonna just spin this slow so it doesn't drip on me. Spin out our drill. Now obviously when you guys are doing floor kits and stuff, you never really want to mix your highlights at the same time as your base coat, because this is just going to sit in the bucket, start to heat up as you're spreading out your base coat. So our tutorials kind of go over how to separate out your highlights, so when you're ready to mix them, you'll mix them. But this 3-gallon kit, I'll be able to put it down fast, add the highlights, and show you how to get this type of design in your floors. We always clean our paddles off with denatured alcohol. That way we don't get a bunch of epoxy buildup on them. Doesn't take much, and then all I have to do is wipe the shaft off, and we have a perfectly clean paddle wheel that we can use again and again and not worry about epoxy chunks flaking off into our mixes. Very fast. So all we do is denatured alcohol in a bucket, put a lid on it, and we can reuse this probably 30 times, maybe even more, before we have to get a fresh batch of denatured alcohol in there. All right, so we're ready. We're gonna go dump it out.
In this video, you've witnessed just a glimpse of what awaits you in the Leggari Academy's comprehensive epoxy floors course. We delve deep into every aspect of successful installations, guiding you from the meticulous mixing process showcased here to expert application techniques. Our curriculum covers it all, from tackling bubbles and prepping various surfaces like wood, tile, and concrete, to mastering primer and top coat applications, and so much more. And epoxy floors are just the beginning. With your enrollment, you unlock access to our full suite of systems, including concrete and asphalt repair, shower kits, flake floors, epoxy countertops, textured deck, hardwood overlays, concrete overlay countertops, and invaluable business seminars. Plus, we regularly share bonus content featuring real-life projects. For further details, check the link in the bio or simply comment Academy to receive more information.